By many accounts, as evidenced by video footage, observation, and interviews, Mr. Biden is not the same today as he was even when he took office 3.5 years ago. Similar reporting in the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal.
To be fair, I don't believe that. Like, I believe that he's gotten worse since he got elected for sure, but I don't believe that he was fine when he got elected either.
No.
Like, everyone with eyes to see could recognize that this dude, in comparison to his like 2012 performance in the vice presidential debate, in comparison to his 2016 performance when he was like giving interviews and he was significantly worse. He was significantly worse than what he once was. And yet people just refuse to recognize it.
And today that you were when you took office 3.5 years ago.
In terms of successes, yes. I also was the guy who put together a peace plan for the Middle East that may be coming to fruition. I was also the guy that expanded NATO. I was also the guy that...
Dude, by the way, this is the funniest thing. Like, always, people are like, you're old. What's going on? Your brain's not working. He's like, well, I got NATO. It's like, yeah, dude, Americans are going to go crazy over NATO, dude. They're like, wow, Sweden and Finland join NATO? That's awesome. That makes me so happy that, like, the roads have holes the size of children in them, and also we don't have health care, and the cost of living is like insane in this country. Oh, but Finland and Sweden joined NATO. It's so sick. This is what is in the minds of the average Americans that are living in all of these states that are now contested. I said this a couple years ago at this point where I was like, I really, really, really hope that the Democrats don't try to run on re-election on the account of like Ukraine, especially because like the pro-Ukrainian position will be significantly less popular by the time that like he's running for re-election. It's not like the momentum that existed in the immediate aftermath of Vladimir Putin's unjustifiable invasion of Ukraine. Of course it was going to get, less popular in the eyes of Americans, and he's literally doing that. You should never bring that up. You should just only talk about abortion. You should only talk about how Trump is a genuine threat to democracy. But he's the worst person to talk about that anyway, because if Trump is a genuine threat to democracy, then you can't put a cadaver that is the least popular president, the least popular incumbent at this point, historically. You can't do that.
Can I run the 110 flat? No. But I'm still in good shape.
Are you more frail?
No.
No.
You're frail, Mr. President.
I know you spoke.
Keep my schedule.
I know you spoke with your doctor after the debate. What did he say?
He said, he just looked at me and said, you're exhausted. I said, look, I have medical doctors travel me everywhere. Every president does, as you know. Medical doctors, some of the best in the world, travel me everywhere I go.
Probably.
I have an ongoing assessment of what I'm doing. They don't hesitate to tell me if they think there's something wrong.
I know you said you have an ongoing assessment. Have you had a full
I like that he said, my doctor just looked at me. Yeah. My doctor looked at me and said, bro, he's like, we're not going to make it across the finish line, Joe.
I didn't notice before, but you're 88. That's what I'm noticing.
Yeah, you're not a good 88, okay? You're the bad one.
I get a full neurological test every day with me. And I've had a full physical. I had, I've been at Walter Reed for my physicals. Yes.
I know your doctor said he consulted with a neurologist. I guess I'm asking a slightly different question. Have you had the specific cognitive tests, and have you had a neurologist, a specialist, do an examination?
You want to lie.
No one said I had to. No one said, they said I'm good.
Would you be willing to undergo an independent medical evaluation that included neurological and cognitive tests and release the results to the American people?
Look, yes. I have a cognitive test every single day. Every day I have a test.
Okay, I'm not kidding. If I remember correctly, if my political autism is working right now, I'm almost certain Trump said this exact same thing.
Yeah. He said he was the best.
I've never seen someone ace it.
No, I'm pretty sure Trump directly responded to the question of him experiencing cognitive decline with, my job as the president is a test every day.
That's pretty good.
I'm not even kidding.
Wait, the thing he said directly before this was, why would I have to do one? And then he's like, oh, actually, I do it all the time. I'm doing one right now.
Not only am I campaigning, but I'm running the world. And that's not how it sounds like hyperbole. But we are the essential nation in the world. Madeleine Albright was right. And every single day, for example, today, before I come out here, I'm on the phone with the Prime Minister of Well, anyway, I shouldn't get into detail, but
Oh, good save.
with Netanyahu, I'm on the phone with the new Prime Minister of England.
He was
I'm
a Jewish
working
Prime
on
Minister.
what we're doing with regard to in Europe, with regard to expansion of NATO and whether it's going to stick. I'm taking on Putin. I mean, every day, there's no day I go through, there are not those decisions I have to make every single day.
And you have been doing that, and the American people have been watching, yet their concerns about your age and your health are growing. So that's why I'm asking, to reassure them, would you be willing to have the independent medical evaluation?
Watch me there's a lot of time left in this campaign.
He always loves saying, watch me. And it's like weird because we did. That's why you're doing this interview. Because we watched you and nobody liked what they saw.
It's over 125 days.
So
I'll
the
make
answer,
a decision.
the right answer right now is no, you don't want to do that right
No,
now.
I've already done it.
You talked a lot about your successes at the beginning of this interview, and I don't want to dispute that. I don't want to debate that. But as you know, elections are about the future, not the past. They're about tomorrow, not yesterday. And the question on so many people's minds right now is, can you serve effectively for the next 4 years?
George, I'm the guy that put NATO together, the future. No one thought I could expand it. I'm the guy that shut Putin down.
Bro, I'm sorry. I know I'm the worst person, especially sitting next to the only other people that are the worst people to talk about this, but like, is this legitimately a thing that people will be like, yeah, he put NATO together? Like,
Is he talking about like back in like 1945 or like what?
yeah. He's like, we took those Nazi generals and we put them in the power, Jack.
Engage responsibly.
We brought West Germany into NATO, and we got those. They were saying the Reich generals. We got them in there.
Capture all
It's
zones
like, oh
and
yeah,
keep
I
them secure.
expanded NATO. First of all, that was Putin. Okay, so put some respect on it.
Allies are capturing
He
Zone A.
literally gave you that gift. And secondly, I don't understand like why
Allied
is this
forces on
actually
Zone B.
a solid approach? Like I don't, brother,
Zone
liberals
is
love
ours.
NATO. No, dude. Of liberals on Reddit and liberals on Twitter. People with globe emojis do not represent the broader electorate. They never have and they never will. They do not represent the broader electorate, just like
Zone C.
Hammer and Sickle Twitter does not represent the broader electorate, okay? It doesn't work that way. The only way that Twitter actually changes discourse in the real world is because all the journalists used to be on Twitter, so they would write about it on Twitter endlessly. The Democratic Party's interest in like NATO and American foreign policy and like, continuing American dominance or whatever is not necessarily something that the rest of the Americans give a f about. I don't think this is as good as a take as like, Brandon thinks it is. He should focus on domestic policies. He should focus on how the NLRB is, going after bad businesses that are legitimately, over workers. You should talk about the IRA. You should talk about like all of the infrastructure
Allies are
investments
capturing
that
Zone
his
A.
administration was able to accomplish, regardless of the Republicans and their obstructionist capacity. I don't think that I expanded NATO is gonna be a successful re-election message. It doesn't show up at all in the polls, by the way. Like even Gaza is like number 4, right? A lot of people don't care about foreign policy. When they do, it's like significant for them, but ultimately is nowhere near in those polls. Like when they look at it, it's like number 1 is like the number 1 concern. Cost of living is the number 1 concern. Democracy is like a close second sometimes, but like nowhere in those polls they talk about like, oh yeah, we expanded NATO. It's awesome. I don't think people care.
I'm the guy that put together the
Hostiles on
South
Zone B.
Pacific
Engage.
Initiative to AUKUS. I'm the guy that got 50 nations outside of Europe.
It's so old, it's going
to
to
help
focus.
Ukraine.
You can't even tell there's a
I'm the guy that got Japanese to expand their budget.
Like these are, first of all, these are ultimately very bad things that he did. Like he's talking about how he expanded the Japanese defense industry. Like not only is it irrelevant to the average American voter, but it's also not a good thing.
He's pretty excited for
Like, I'm the one who's beefing up the Japanese. I'm the one who's beefing up the Japanese war machine. I'm the one who's beefing up the German war machine. I'm the one who's beefing up the Italian war machine. Let me tell you, Jack, we're running it back, okay? World War III. This time we're on the right side. This is all about going into a Cold War with China so that we can sanction them and constrain their economy so that we remain the biggest economy. I know, but like, I don't think that that is like an attitude. I don't think that's Americans are thinking about that. He would have a much easier time being like, I defeated China.
Yeah.
Okay. He should just say that. You know what I mean? He should just be like, China is rising and we're going to kill them. We're going to kill all the Chinese. That would probably be a more populist framing. But no. Democrats love doing this insane technocratic approach and like incredibly convoluted messaging that appeals to like Paul Krugman and Paul Krugman only. Okay? Like this is not a winning narrative for the average Americans. The average American, they're xenophobic as shit too. Like they're afraid of China for sure. They don't know exactly why, but they're afraid of China. They're told that China is bad. And that's one thing. So just say it like that. I'm defeating China by creating strong allegiances. Even then that's not a winning narrative in general. You know what I mean?
When I decided we keep that 40% computer chip.
Allies are capturing Zone A.
Computer chip. It's another cell phone.
Zone contested.
We're gonna run that back.
For example, when I decided we used to have 40% computer chip, and we invented the chip, computer chip. It's in everything from cell phone to weapons.
Zone B
And
compromised.
So we used to have 40%, we're down to virtually nothing. So I get in a plane against the vice everybody, and I fly to South Korea. I convinced them to invest in the United States billions of dollars. Now we have tens of billions of dollars being invested in the United States, making us back in a position we're going to own that industry.
Like this is also this is like exactly the type of stuff that Trump would say. The problem is Trump would say it in a better way.
There's enough conviction that you're like, yeah.
Like this is unironically like Trump right now. Oh, the chips, you know those chips.
the
They're in
little chips,
computers. The
they're
little
everywhere.
chips. They're so tiny. They're the best chips. We used to make the best chips. We don't make the best chips anymore. China's making all the chips. I brought it back. I brought the chips
Friendly
back.
forces
I'm not
securing
again because
A.
I think I understand that's
contested.
what has to be done to take this nation to a completely new level. We're on our way. And the decision recently made by the Supreme Court on immunity, you know, the next president of the United States is not just about whether he or she knows what they're doing. It's not about
Secure all zones from the opposing
of
force.
people making decisions. It's about the character of the president.
It's an intractable third thing. It's just the vibe. It's the aura. It's the aura of the presidency. Okay? No, it absolutely is about like administrative competency, man. Like what are you talking about?
I love it where he does his thing where he runs the voice, dude.
Yeah.
Hell. A voice like that.
Zone
This
contested.
Constitution is employed the right way.
Let me ask you a tougher, more personal question. Are you sure you're being honest with yourself when you say you have the mental and physical capacity?
George, bringing it back. Let's go. George's like, okay, Grandpa, tell me about your brain again. Let's run that back until you're exhausted and you do flub. At least his face is not doing the weird thing anymore. In the beginning, he's always like, and then I think he like starts.
Yeah, no, I think he moves his face around until he finds a default position where he's
Yeah,
like,
this is
okay,
a
I'll
better.
sit here.
I will say this is a better default position for his face than
It still looks like he can't hear you. It feels like he's like passing through one way.
Operator neutralized.
Yes, I am. Because George, the last thing I want to do is not be able to meet that.
Enemies assaulting zone.
Because some of the senior economists and senior foreign policy specialists said, if I stop now, I'd go down in history as a pretty successful president. No one thought I could get done what we got done.
But are you being honest with yourself as well
Now he's
about
catching
your
it from
ability to
Biden.
defeat Donald Trump
It's-
right now?
Yes. Yes.
You say that, and let me challenge you.
He's such a narcissist. I'm gonna go back to this. Okay, this is all ego, bro. This is a full ego run right now. The entire narrative is he's still running on like I'm the best. I'm the only guy to beat Trump. Obviously, people from inside of the administration are saying no, that's not the case. Here's a scoop from Alex Thompson at Axios. A look at the template that the White House sent staffers organizing events for POTUS. I staffed a simple fundraiser at a private residence, but they treated it like it was a NATO summit with his movements. A person who staffed a Biden event said. They're literally directing him specifically on like which directions he needs to go to. The private fundraiser that he did, by the way, he actually used the teleprompter on. I think the last private fundraiser that he didn't even go off the cuff. He used the teleprompter, which also got donors worried because they were like, what the he can't even talk to us, is actually legitimately scary.
You should have given him more money.
Since the debate, some Dems who attended and helped set up Biden events have wondered whether his team's focus on minute details were to obscure POTUS's limitations rather than just a reflection of a meticulous staff. Yeah, Disney Air is pulled out already. What is this? Reality check. Organizing presidential events, often called advanced work, is very intensive and detail focused for every commander-in-chief. Yeah, there's a difference though. And normally they don't use teleprompters at donor events, and they definitely shouldn't use a teleprompter at a donor event, a closed door private donor meeting, especially when people are saying you can't talk without a teleprompter. When that's like the major concern that donors have with you, then you need to address that concern head on by literally not using a teleprompter and going off the cuff. It's a private event.
Economist and senior foreign policy specialists say if I stop now, I'd go down in history as a pretty successful president. No one thought I could get done what we...
Bro, they're saying that so you drop out. They're like, yeah, everyone is saying that so you drop out. They're like, yeah, dude, come on. You have a great legacy already. Please shut the leave. 4 more senior Dems call on Biden to stand down from re-election bid. Other Democrats also expressed concerns. This happened today. Hakeem Jeffries had a all-hands meeting with the entirety of the Democratic Party, the House of Representatives, the Democrats in the House of Representatives, and now 4 more senior Dems are calling for Biden to stand down, including, but not limited to, Representative Jerry Nadler, who is also famous for pooping in his pants, okay? Like, I'm not kidding. Really? He's also 800. That's the guy I told Brandon.
That's beautiful.
People say he has a disability. That's why he walks like that. But I think
himself as a disability.
Yeah, I think it's because he pooped his pants. I refuse to believe people that say that. He's the guy who told Brandon to step down because he's too old. That's pretty crazy. I know what that looks like when you fart and then it turns out there's more to that fart than you previously assumed. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
If he was walking like that, that was a big mess.
Yeah.
That's when it gets down to your ankles and you have to like kind of slide.
Yeah.
So you're not.
Yeah. We know what that's like. Don't lie to me like that. Oh yeah, he's a disability.
Not when he had to be challenged in a way that he's about to be challenged. Not when people...
You've had months to challenge him.
Oh, I sure had months, but I was also doing a hell of a lot of other things, like wars around the world.
Yeah, I was doing wars. I was doing too many wars.
Domination.
Man.
This scenario is kinetic.
Killing this
Plan
interview, dude.
accordingly.
Congratulations. I was doing wars. I was doing NATO.
Like working anyway.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, and he
Secure
hit
the
that
capture
anyway.
zones and neutralize
That's my
the opposing
favorite. When he
force.
just cuts himself off and he's like, anyway.
That's smart. Smarter than continuing.
Yeah.
No, but he already goes too far. He already says it when he's
Zone
been
is
silent
ours.
for 10 seconds.
Yeah, and then he just shuts up. He's like, we shouldn't explore that avenue any further.
Do you really believe you're not behind right now?
I think it's all pollsters I talk to tell me it's a toss-up.
Yeah, because your closest allies and your staffers, I think, are lying to you. And also, it's not even true. You know there's bad polls. An internal poll leaked from the Biden camp. Like one of the numbers they were looking at that they did not want out there that was leaked to Axios that showed post-debate performance, like he dropped significant points in key states. Even when his own internal posters are telling him, or his staff is telling him, oh, it's a toss-up, Mr. President. That's not good. That's bad. That means you're
Allied
not
forces on
winning.
zone B.
Like, it shouldn't be a toss-up. You're the incumbent. As an incumbent, you have the advantage. You're supposed to have the incumbent's advantage.
Hostiles on C. Intervene immediately.
Unless there's usually.
Allies
Unless
are
they like
capturing zone A.
big time, like Trump with COVID. Unless there's like a once in a lifetime, global event like COVID. Yeah, usually
We
the
secured the
incumbent
zone.
has the advantage. Yeah, here's the leaked poll. Leaked Dem internal polling from Open Labs, progressive nonprofit that conducts polling and message testing for Constellation Democratic groups, including the preferred super PAC for Biden's re-election campaign. Their website is mostly blank. They don't seek publicity. Their client list is closely held, but their data-driven memos are trusted in Democratic circles and typically pass around a small group of clients and strategies. It's just not looking too good. Post-debate margin. Like he's dropping off the map. Listen, he might not win in 2024, but Biden, I think, has a real chance in 2028. Yeah,
This is the guy who told us to put bleach in our hearts to deal with COVID. Over a million people died. This is the guy who talks about the want to get rid of the healthcare provisions for the place. This is the guy who wants to give the power back
Allied
to
forces on zone B.
People who charge exorbitant prices for drugs. This is the guy who wants to undo every single thing I've done. Every single thing.
I understand that. I understand that's why you want to
is
stay in the race.
ours.
But if you convince yourself that only you can defeat him,
I convinced myself of two
Hostiles on
things.
Zone B.
I'm the most
Engage.
qualified person to be here. I know how to get things done.
Be advised. Zone A in
you
danger.
can be convinced
Capture
that
zone
you cannot
contested.
defeat Donald Trump, will you stand down?
It depends on if the Lord Almighty comes out and something else. I'm not too bad.
Oh my
That
God.
was smart. Everyone I speak to here is Christian. That's an American thing.
Yeah, if Jesus Christ comes down and is like, bro, you got to drop out, then I'll drop out. It's really good. That's sick.
I mean, I don't think they really have enough.
If an 81-year-old doctor who struggled with complete sentences looked down at me on the operating table and said he didn't care if I lived or not as long as he tried his hardest and did his best, I'm not sure that would be comforting. Hey, doc, there are other people invested in the outcome of this procedure than just you. Yeah, I mean, he's right. That's a good take from Ryan.
I'm not that invested.
You're in Australia, dude, okay? He's like, yeah, we already got AUKUS, which is what he was really stoked on. He's like, we already got the nuclear submarine. I'm good. I got my bag. Yeah, over my dead body is basically what he's saying here, which is crazy.
I mean, on a more practical level, Washington Post just reported in the last hour that Senator Mark Warner is assembling a group of senators together to try and convince you to stand down because they don't think you can win.
Well, Mark is a good leader.
Just a run of bad luck, operator. Shake it off and apply your training.
Mark's not.
He did it. What does he mean? Am I wrong on this? I don't think. Wait, what? Did Mark Warner run for president? Why did he say he tried to get the nomination?
First kill.
Mark Warner tried to get the nomination in 2008. He formed an exploratory committee in 2008 but decided not to run. I don't think he's talking about that. Why would you bring that up?
Maybe you just leaked something. You wasn't gonna
No, this literally feels like he tried to be like, yeah, Mark is just jealous of my steeds. That's such a weird thing to say. The fact that Biden can recall on the spot that Warner planned to run in 2008 while you failed to do even basic research for
Allies
opposing his
securing
asinine
Zone B.
ramble fuckery. Oh my God.
It was a mistake. It was
Ramble fuckery. Asinine ramble fuckery. Dude, the way that these guys write, like, oh my God, dude. Re-education camps for them too, okay? No, even if he did lock down a 2008, like, failed attempt to run with an exploratory committee in 2006 or whatever, even if that was what he was recalling, that still proves the point that I was making, which is that when you are experiencing dementia, early stages, middle stages, late stages of dementia, you have perfect recall of events that transpired many, many years ago, but you can't remember what you ate for breakfast.
Is a go.
Okay, that's the problem.
Zone is ours.
It's not 2010. It's 2024.
Also, there's no way he remembered that. That was just a mistake, and he got lucky. He made a mistake.
I don't think. Yeah, I think he just. I don't think he's like doing
Forces have the
recall.
advantage.
Mark and I have a different perspective. I respect him.
We're losing A.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem
Orders are to
Jeffries
take
and
all the
Nancy
zones and
Pelosi
keep them
come down and
secure.
say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
I just got to go into detail with him. I've spoken to all of them in detail.
Previous death
Jim
event.
Clyburn. Every
Team
one of
taking
them.
seat.
They all said I should stay in the race. Stay in the race. No one said, none of them. I should be.
But if they do,
Well, it's like, we're not computer.
you sure?
Well, yeah, sure.
Friendly forces
Look.
securing A.
I mean, if the Lord Almighty came out and said, Joe, get out of the race, I'll get out of the race. The Lord Almighty's not coming down.
Damn, bro. He's just like, no. The only way I drop
secured
out
the
is
zone.
if God tells me to. Is the crazy thing.
It's not that hypothetical anymore. I grant that they have not requested the meeting, but it's been reported.
I've
Select
never
one,
done.
just put their goggles on.
I've never allowed these people. I've talked with them regularly.
Did Moran get you a bowl?
I had
Oh, he did.
an hour conversation with Hakeem. I had more time with Jim Clyburn.
Enemy
I spent
forces
time
on Zone A.
many hours off and on the last with Chuck Schumer.
All zones.
It's not like I had all the governors. All the
We're
governors.
taking B.
I agree that the Lord Almighty is not going to come down, but if you
Yes, God is personally not going to smite you, sir. Is there any other
Zone is
reason for
ours.
you to drop out?
are told
Zone B is
reliably from
compromised.
your allies, from your friends and supporters, from the Democratic Party in the House and the Senate, that they're concerned you're going to
may
lose the
not
House and
end
the
well,
Senate if you
operator.
stay in. What will you do?
I'm not going to answer that question. It's not going to happen.
Allies moving on to Zone
good
C.
answer.
What's your plan to turn the campaign around?
So today,
This,
Zone contested.
which is great. He's killing it. This definitely did a number, dude. Even the most like diehard loyalists are having a hard time coping with this. From what I understand, some people on Twitter were talking about, because like that's where the most like aggro DNC defenders are, and the Democratic Party defenders are. And even they were like, oh, they actually cooked Biden. They f***ed up the audio deliberately.
I heard that.
This feels more like an intervention than an interview. It feels like George is a grown son trying to convince his dad it's no longer okay to drive the Ford into town. Yeah, I've never seen a president with 36% approval getting reelected. It's bad. It's really bad.
How many people can you draw crowds like I drew today?
Again, another Trumpism.
Yeah.
Dude, he's studied his opponent, okay? Let me tell you. He studied his opponent well. He is adopting all of the Trump tropes. It's awesome. I got big rallies. I got big crowds, Jack.
Find any more enthusiastic than today? Huh?
I mean, I don't think you want to play the crowd game. Donald Trump can draw big crowds. There's no question about that.
He can draw a big crowd, but what does he say? Who does he have? I'm the guy supposedly in trouble. We raised
Wait,
30.
what? No, you literally said you can draw a big crowd. And now he's like, well, you draw a big crowd, but like it doesn't look too good in comparison to Trump's big crowds.
Same thing happened in 2020. Biden, I don't know, man. What's he going to do?
Someone older than him is giving you advice.
Yeah.
Nothing changed except his voice just went deeper.
That's a good one. I like that. He should. Okay, let me tell you. He studied his opponent well. He is adopting all of the Trump trope.
I would not watch any of this again. Have you watched video of someone like filming you drunk?
What?
Mr. President, I've never...
What? Oh, no. What? No, you literally said you can draw a big crowd. And now he's like, well, you draw a big crowd, but like it doesn't look too good in comparison to Trump's big crowds.
Same thing happened in 2020. Biden, I don't know, man. What's he going to do?
Someone older than him is giving you advice.
Nothing changed except his voice just went deeper.
That's a good one. I like that. He should do that voice more often.
Same thing happened in 2020. Biden, I don't know, man. What's he going to do? He may bring me down. He may.
What?
Mr. President, I've never...
What? Oh, no.
His old man is exactly the same as normal Biden.
Yeah. An even older man than Biden has come out and told him with his grovelly voice that, I don't know, you might be a little too old.
I completely understand why Biden hasn't watched the debate. I would not watch any of this again. Have you watched video of someone like filming you drunk? You like very actively try to avoid seeing that.
Yeah.
We're seeing a president at 36% approval get reelected.
Well, I don't believe that's my approval rate. That's not what our polls show.
What? He's just on pure cope. He's like, nah, those polls are fake and wrong and gay. I don't care. I don't care, Jack. Polls are lying. I'm so goddamn popular.
And if you stay in and Trump is elected and everything you're warning about comes to pass, how will you feel in January?
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the good job as I know I can do. That's what this is about.
That's not what this is about. You're insane. You are insane. What an unimaginably selfish response. If you lose because everyone told you you're too old and you're going to lose to Trump and you refuse to drop out, how would you feel? Well, I still try my best. It's like, no, dude, you can't say that.
Yeah.
People watching this is not just Jill Biden and your mom, okay? Like, this is like the entire American public, or at least much less than the people that watch the debate, but like still a pretty decent number of people are watching this conversation. Like, they don't think, oh, I love Joe Biden so much. Like, it's fine. As long as he tried his best. Yeah. Like, that's insane. Who the f do you think you are? That's crazy. As long as I tried my best. Where's the narcissism in this circumstance? You should be like, yo, that's not going to happen because I'm going to win.
I'm pretty unfamiliar with like American English. Is good as the normal word for you guys? Or is it?
No, good is not a no. That up too, but that's fine. That's like whatever.
It's a small slip.
But this is insane to think that like, oh, I tried my very best and that's what matters. Like, no, dude, this isn't like Little League. Okay, we're not going out for lemonade after baseball. Okay, you're out of your mind, dog. What do you mean? Oh, I tried my best and then that's all that matters. No. That's not all that matters. There's things that matter so much more than that. Actually, that's the least significant part of this conversation.
Everyone at the end is just like, good try.
Yeah.
You did well.
But I like this time.
Yeah, what are we talking about? I thought this was about saving democracy, not saving Biden's opinions, dude. Is not saving Biden's like the personal confidence. He's gonna lose and deny the results because their polls showed otherwise. Yeah, he's gonna pull a full Trump. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay.
But the things that happen in the next 7 years are going to determine what the next 6, 7 decades look like. And who's going to be able to hold NATO together like me? Who's going to be able to
Allied
be in a
forces
position
on
where
Zone B.
I'm able to keep the Pacific Basin in a position where we're at least checkmating China now?
That's another thing that like Trump was, again, this goes back to like the immigration conversation. Being reactionary towards China in your foreign policy is the Republican position. Democrats cannot win on that front either, okay? You can be an elderly statesman and talk about like, you know, cooler heads prevailing and that you need to take the necessary precautions against China even though they're a great competitor, blah, blah, blah. But you can't be like, I'm the one who's going to take down Xi Jinping or whatever. You can't say that. That's the Republican position. No one is going to go, yes, I'm voting for the Democratic president because they are going to be the ones that kill immigrants. I'm voting for the Democratic president because they are the ones who are going to actually keep China in check. I don't think that this is like a real confidence builder for the Democratic ticket. It's so stupid. It is yet another unironic flub, both bad policy and bad politics from the Democratic Party.
Who's going to do that? Who has that reach?
Allied forces on Zone B.
I guess we'll make a judgment because you're going to have now the NATO conference.
By the way, 22 minutes in, and he's also devolving. Like he is now melting. Okay, look, he started off strong, did the weird face, but at least he was like more coherent. Now he's like,
But you're in the United States next week. Come listen.
he's like All Might, dude. He's losing all of his power. Sorry for all the, you know, for the 8 My Hero Academia fans in here. He's like All Might at the end of his like power cycle. You know what I mean? He can only run the All Might character for like 20 minutes, and he's like at the end of his juice now.
Mr. President, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
ABC News also offered a one-on-one interview with Donald Trump after the debate. He declined. Let's bring in our political team for what they're hearing. Let me start out with our chief Washington correspondent, John Carl. And John, you watched the interview. You've been talking to people all across Washington. What are you hearing?
Well, George, look, Biden looked better and certainly more coherent than he looked during the debate.
I mean, yeah, because he looked really bad in the debate. Yeah. It's like that's a low bar to set. You know what I mean? He looked a little bit better than the debate. Still not great.
There's nothing in this interview that is calming nerves of jittery Democrats who fear that Joe Biden is on a trajectory to lose this race, to lose to Donald Trump. In fact, for some of those people, the interview is raising new concerns, particularly...
Okay, the interview just happened. What do you mean it's raising new concerns? How do they know? How do they know? What the...
To the host of the interview. I need to go to right now. Look at Biden.
The fact that he is unwilling or unaware of the fact that he is in a dire situation here regarding the campaign. That he is losing.
Yeah, because he's demented, dog. That's why. He like, doesn't even understand that he's underwater.
In the view of many Democrats, and frankly, in the polls you cited, that he is losing to Donald Trump. And there was one question that you asked where his answer is particularly, I believe, alarming to some of those Democrats. You asked him how he will feel in January if he has lost to Donald Trump and all that he has warned would happen came to pass. And this was his answer. He said, I'll feel as long as I gave it my all and did the best job I know I can do, that's what this is about. One prominent ally of the...
Yeah, I know. They're trying to clean it up a little bit. No, sir. He specifically said goodest. I'm the goodest boy.
The president simply responded to me, wow, when I asked about that question. So the bottom line here...
The White House actually disputed that he said goodest job or goodest job. The White House wants a word. Wait, what?
But none of those make sense.
What is a good-ass job?
That's Australian. It's like good as.
Yeah, you say good as job.
Good as
Yeah, but
job.
Biden is not
Or you say a good ass job.
Yeah, good-ass job. ABC News tweaked this transcript of an intriguing moment in his Friday interview with the president after the Biden administration and news outlets raised questions. This is the path to victory.
Yeah.
You don't understand. No, the White House is killing it right now, dude. Oh, yeah, he's a good-ass job. That's what he said. ABC News adjusted his initial transcript for a much-discussed moment in the President Biden's Friday interview at the White House. Oh, my God, it's so bad. Oh, my God, this is what we're doing? Oh, this is so bad. The moment occurred after the end of Mr. Biden's interview when George Stephanopoulos asked the president how he would feel if he stayed in the presidential race and was defeated by former President Donald Trump. I'll feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job I know I can do.
But good as is not any better.
I did the good as job, and I know I can do like as good as a job. As good as a job is not good as job.
Zone B is compromised.
What the?
Oh, it would be really fun to be on his campaign, like
Also-
trying to come up with the ways to save him.
He was,
That's good
actually, he was
as.
actually quoting someone from the 80s movie, you know, that's what
that's
he's
what
got
he's
good
doing.
memory.
The moment occurred towards the end of Mr. Biden's interview. I feel as long as I gave him my all and I did the good as job I know I can
We're
do.
taking B.
Best,
This is so psychotic because like their defense of this, as good as a job as I can do, is 4 additional words, bro.
ours.
He did not say those words. So if your defense is, no, he said I'll do as good as job as I can do, then you're still failing. Like that actually low-key makes this sound even worse, as a matter of fact. How is that possible?
It's also not relevant. Like, are you denying he can't speak?
It's very obvious
It's
that he's
very obvious. He's nitpicking this one sentence.
No, but
Like, this was right. This one here.
fine.
This is so bad, bro. This is so bad. By Saturday afternoon, the quote in Network's online transcript had changed slightly. I'll feel as long as I gave him my all and I did the good as job as I know I can do. That's what this is about.
That's actually worse than good as.
He didn't say that. Why is this a moment of contest? Like, why is this being contested? Like, maybe they think this is like a good way to neutralize the fact that he said, "Oh, I'll get a participation trophy," even though like the entire narrative has been democracy's on the ballot. And now instead of democracy's on the ballot, what's on the ballot is like Joe Biden trying his hardest and still losing.
Friendly forces on Zone B.
My people are taking France over, baby. 1, 2, 3, Viva Algeria. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, I'm a French nationalist. I think they should nationalize. Anyway, I'm a French nationalist. I think they should nationalize France. It's not Europe. We own Europe.
This electoral campaign where everybody was confronted with their choices. The people finally has chosen, and I can only recognize the efforts made by all those who finally arrived at tonight's results. And I can only
Securing B.
hail those who accepted to run, those who accepted to
Progress update.
step down,
Time is
and all
running out.
those
Now
who
or
went
never.
door to door, face to face, to convince everyone, and at the end, obtain a result which was claimed to be impossible. There was a huge effort
Friendly targeting zone
of civil responsibility. We can only admire this at a time when political life seems to be receding. We were able to push the threat away. Tonight, the national rally is far from having the absolute majority that seemed to be within reach a couple of weeks ago. Quite the opposite. It's a huge relief for a huge majority of people in the country, those who make up the new France and those who have always loved France with Republican passion. These voters were concerned, but now they can be reassured they have won.
Avec ces bulletins de vote, une majorité a fait un autre choix pour le
With
pays.
their ballots, a majority made a new choice for the country. The will of the people must be strictly respected, and from now on, no arrangement, no combination will be acceptable. Indeed, the lessons of this vote are quite clear. The defeat of the president and his coalition have been confirmed. The president must recognize
They fixed the graphic afterwards to reflect the actual seats.
this defeat and should not attempt to circumvent it in any way. The Prime Minister...
How much of this affects Palestine? Both Keir Starmer, from what I understand, Keir Starmer putting an attorney, putting like a pro-Palestinian person, and I think I saw Keir Starmer also say that like they are demanding a ceasefire in Gaza, and the French left is also significantly more pro-Palestinian than Macron is. So I think that like ultimately this will be good. It will create additional pressure from two massive European countries. Like this is from 6 hours ago. Starmer, Palestinian state undeniable right as a part of peace process. This could be lip service, but it definitely is like, I mean, I would say that it's a pretty solid start. Yeah. Like Keir Starmer in a call with Benjamin Netanyahu called on him to bring about an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. And I'm pretty sure the New Popular Front's like attitude towards Palestinians is significantly better than Macron. So much so that like Mélenchon has been called an anti-Semite, which in France is like might be good for his re-election chances in general. But yeah, it is actually pretty good, I think.
Must step down.
This scenario is kinetic. Plan accordingly.
Indeed, he never received the trust of the National Assembly. He's just run this campaign that
Secure the
this
capture
camp
zones and
is
neutralize
lost
the
in.
opposing
This
force.
was a complete disavowal by the people.
Allies are
It
capturing
is
Zone
the
A.
president's duty
Allied forces on
a
Zone
new
B.
Popular Front to run
Zone
the
is
country.
ours.
Celui-ci y est prêt.
The new Popular Front is ready.
Friendly
L'ont donné les votes pour ces candidats.
It will abide by the mandate given by its candidates.
Le nouveau Front Populaire
It will be as good as its word. The new Popular Front will apply
Wasn't Keir Starmer pro-Israel in the lead up to election? He was definitely baby shit in terms of his criticisms against Israel for most of the election, and maybe he's like flipping it on. Maybe he was a real socialist. Maybe he was doing a secret. Maybe he was just like secretly appearing to be center right while he was simultaneously the realest one of all. Like I said, like I joked about before, like maybe he was just like ousting Corbyn because he wasn't. He was ousting Corbyn because Corbyn wasn't hardcore enough. He's a secret Stalinist. He is like, yeah, no, none of this like worker council bullshit. Like we're doing full centralization. Okay, the countryside belongs to the peasants. We're gonna give them back. We're doing cooperative ownership, all controlled by the federal government. That's what Starmer's attitude is. Keir Stalin, damn. Keir's a Trotskyite. Entryism works. No, he's not. He's a fake Trotskyite, even though he was younger in his younger days. He's just dropped that shit. He elevated his stances. He's actually a Stalinist. Yeah, he's building the Vanguard Party. The Labour Party is going to change his name to the Vanguard Party.
its program.
All capture
Nothing
zones in
but
friendly
its
hands.
program. But all its program.
Hostiles on Zone B. Engage.
Celui-ci forme un tout dont on ne peut
This
dissocier
program
ni les
is a whole,
ni les
none of the constituents can be separated.
It's pretty funny because like Mélenchon, I forget. Wait, how old is Mélenchon? So one of Mélenchon's like weaknesses in the last election cycle was how old he is, and like he's 72 years old. Okay, he's 72 years old, but like obviously he's like significantly with it, and they would say that he's like an old man, right? And that's such a funny meme to consider when you look at American politics, because he's a spring chicken in the United States of America.
Friendly securing Zone
As a
C.
72-year-old, he's like considered one of the younger members of the party leadership. Like French people look at him and go, "Oh, what the fuck are we doing? He's too old to run for office. Like, what are we doing?" In America, we look at that and we're like, "Wow, what a vibrant young candidate." I wish we could have a vibrant young candidate like that. Like, think about that. Think about that. They literally are like, "Oh, he's too old." Can you imagine a world where we look at a guy like this who's 72 and go, "Oh man, he's just too fucking old." In America, yeah, people call him the old man. He's very good. If you only understood French cognitively, he's at 100%. I'm just saying, it's like funny to think that like for French politics, like they look at him and they're like, "Oh, he's too old. He's too old to run for office." Like, why doesn't he step aside and give the, why doesn't he step aside and let some younger candidates run the party, and it's so funny because like from where I'm standing, I'm looking at this like 72. He's with it. This is like a beautiful person to run for the Democratic Party. Oh, he is. He's going to retire, pretty sure. I'm just saying, like, still ridiculous to consider him to be an old person by American standards.
From the expenditures or the measures that are to come into force.
Les mesures prévues par ce programme peuvent être prises par décret sans vote.
From this summer on, the new measures can be adopted by decree.
Allies taking zone C.
Abrogating retirement at age 64, blocking the prices, increasing minimum wage.
Bro, by the way, dude, remember when you guys said, why don't you meme good things into existence? Remember when I memed about Keir Starmer technically secretly being a Stalinist? Labour will renationalize Britain's railways as soon as possible, says Louise Haig, the new transportation secretary. What the fuck is going on, dude? I was just joshing, okay? I was just joking about this Keir Stalin shit. And Comrade Starmer he's with it, dude. Dangism, Starmerism, yeah. Starmer is bringing about a regime change. He's doing socialism with English characteristics. Don't read the fine print. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I still don't believe him. I still don't like him. I still don't believe him. Like I said, I hope I'm so wrong. I hope I'm like entirely wrong about my assessment of the labor. Entirely wrong about the assessment that I made. The predictions that I made overall, that like labor will be feckless. They will be, opening up the way for reform to take over entirely. Hopefully I'm wrong. That English characteristic transphobia. Anyway, this is barely a left-wing position in Europe, to be fair. Brother, England is so far removed from the left-wing position of Europe broadly that like England is literally galloping towards an American-style neoliberal institution, okay? You don't understand. They've actually passed America on the anti-trans shit already, and they're trying to catch America on neoliberalization, on privatization of like other state-owned enterprise in general, or previously state-owned enterprise. So like low-key, this is a big move for England. Talking about England while on the French election, Hassan, you want us to begin another 100 years war? No, there will be no 100 years war because, like I said, Keir Stalin and the New Popular Front are ideological allies, okay? They are aligned with one another ideologically because they're both Maoist third worldists, okay?
Convention, the convenience of collective bargaining agreements. All this work is before us. We announced it last week and we will confirm this to the President of the Republic. We will not get into negotiations with this party to engage in combinations, especially having fought relentlessly for the past 7 years his policy of social mistreatment and his position that the French people have disavowed, especially after the vote has made this so clear, especially after the new People's Front, in spite of all the blows received on all sides, all the insults, will stand up and keep and abide by the mandate given by the people. From now on,
do you think Macron expected this to happen? I would assume he would do anything to kill socialism or the left. I don't think he expected this to happen. I think that he predicted that the left would not be able to organize, and what happened last time around that allowed Macron to win would happen again. But then the left actually created the New Popular Front in a matter of days. Like they literally immediately. Macron came out of nowhere and was like, "We're breaking the parliament. We're going to do a new election." His own fucking party leadership did not even know that this was going to happen. And it was a dangerous gambit, especially because he did this immediately after the far right won massively in the European Parliament elections. So for him to do this in the eve of like the nationalist momentum that was occurring in the country, got everyone to go, whoa, what the fuck's going on? And I think the best assessment of the situation is that Macron did this specifically because he wanted to like at least own the first 2 years. I believe he had 2 more years of the potential like nationalist parliament. So he could like in his mind, he could potentially control 3 years. Sorry. Thank you. He could control the like next 3 years of like a nationalist parliament, but at least he could like dial it back in his own assessment, because he probably thought, you know, yes, my party is actually very unpopular right now. And yes, the far right nationalists are going to most likely win, but at least I can like control it a little bit and rein it in a little bit. But what ended up happening was that the New Popular Front got their shit together and created a coalition instantly. And when that happened, they got second place. The Nationalist Party got first place in the first round of the elections. And the Popular Front, comprised of a bunch of leftist French parties that previously were famously infighting all the time, got second place. And Macron's party actually lost a lot of momentum and barely got third place, like with 20% of the vote or something. So because of that, they had to, even if it was just a save face, they had to get together and say, oh, in order to defeat the far right, we have to put up candidates. We have to only put up candidates that are slated to win in the second round. So what ends up happening in that situation is like if you have an area where like a New Popular Front candidate is going to defeat the nationalist candidate, you pull your candidate out. If you have a area where the Republican candidate is going to win over the Popular Front candidate is going to win, then you pull out the Popular Front candidate. So that's, you know, that's basically what happened. Sometimes dudes do in fact rock. This is how they won. Yeah. It's true. This is how they won. Yeah, there was 210 candidates from the left and center, which pulled out in the second round. It was absolutely massive and unprecedented. Yeah, they made sure not to split the vote against the far right, which was great. And in spite of it all, from what I understand, when you look at the actual results and the splits, it does seem like stronger than expected transfer from left voters to Macronists and vice versa to block RN. Yeah. Recap from Taniel. Exit polls 90 minutes ago show surprise. Left first, Macron second, RN third. Since then, results in from many districts, they're confirming that big picture and show why. Stronger than expected transfers from left voters to Macronists and vice versa to block RN, which is the nationalists. What do you mean control, though? The president doesn't even have actual veto power without controlling the parliament. I don't see how 3 years of cohabitation would have helped him against the right, except to make him look like a fool. It is still stupid. Don't misunderstand me. I think it was a dumb decision regardless, but that is the only way that this makes sense. It doesn't make sense any other way. Why the fuck would he do this? He knows he's deeply unpopular. He knows that his party is deeply unpopular. He knows that the far right is growing in momentum. He literally fucking called these elections like right after the nationalists won big in the European Parliament election. So, like, what was his internal calculation? I don't know. I have no idea what he's not stupid. His plots are just too complex for you. Yeah, he has the complexity that I cannot understand. He actually secretly wanted the left to win, I guess. They didn't win, though. They don't have a majority without an alliance with Macron. You know that, right? Who cares? Like, they'll try to fuck up the bag. They'll try to do everything in their power to undermine the legislative agenda, but ultimately it still doesn't matter. Yeah, secret Macron. Yeah. Oh no, they have to capitulate with liberals instead of fascists. How terrible. Exactly. Macron famously said, "I've been preparing this for weeks and I'm delighted. I've thrown my grenade at their legs. Now we'll see how they deal with it." He doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, bro. He threw the grenade at their legs and then they kicked the grenade back to Macron, and it exploded in his fucking face. So I don't know. My thoughts are too complex for journalists, says Emmanuel Macron. Nobody knows what he was thinking, dude. Nobody can make sense of this man's brilliance, okay? It is his mind. His mind shatters the average political understander's expectations, okay? You cannot comprehend. You cannot comprehend what he was thinking. But this is true and you know it. Emmanuel Macron apology form. Nah, NFP did all the fucking work. Macron got saved by the left is true. You didn't think he bet. You think he didn't bet on this? Please don't disrespect the greatest statesman of the 21st century. Are you fucking kidding me? I think Macron would rather kill himself to have the left win, dude. There's no shot. Like, I don't think it's a secret Marxist-Leninist or some shit. I think people are ridiculous. the greatest statesman of the 21st century. And also, he's not generally his initial thinking when he called the election was Le Pen will win the election. Her governance will be bad, which will damage her for 2027, which is so callous and sociopathic. Yeah, he's Marxism, Macronism. He's a real one. This is like reverse Germany, dude. This is reverse like Germany in the lead up to the Nazi rise of power. Okay, instead of capitulating to the far right, he ended up having to capitulate to the left, which is shocking. Macron is quiet quitting. His party spokesperson already said Mélenchon and France Unbowed cannot be left to govern France, but that their party is ready to work with the Republican Party. Yeah, at most, first of all, it's just going to be a liberal coalition. If they want to fucking, in order to get shit done, they're gonna have to, you know, the new Popular Front is gonna have to work with the liberals here, the Republicans. But it doesn't matter. Together, presidential majorité, unaffiliated left-wing, New Popular Front. Problem is NFP leaders are signaling they will stick together. But imagine the left winning in France and since the left wave in Germany. Since the left wins now, next presidential, the far right will switch to Macron to prevent left on top. Macron hopes. I don't know about that. The American liberals are so stupid. Breaking. Paris AP, French far right falls short of expectations and trails leftist rivals in legislative elections. Pollsters say, but the polls and pundits said, never mind. Wait, what? So are people upset about this in America? Like, I'm so confused. Like, why do you care? It's France. You know what I mean? Like, we care because we're nerds. But, like, why would any American be like, oh, I can't believe Macron is no longer in power? Or, oh, no, like, the national is lost? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, American Democrats are upset? Very weird. It's not even that guy. I think it's, like, liberal. Anyway. Let's look at Daniel. What's happening right now on TV, something very familiar in terms of the full parliamentary regime fight over coalitions. Macron is the center-right are arguing. This is in the left wing, suggesting a center-left to center-right unity government. Left is insisting that this is the left wing. This is exactly the sort of district that is causing a shock result tonight. RN got 40% of the first round, with 6% going to another right-wing candidate. Left was at 30%. Macron has dropped out, and vote transfers ended up being quite strong. Left won by 1%. Here's one that's showing a different dynamic. An RN win in a situation where vote transfers against it weren't quite strong enough. In Southwood District, RN had gotten 44% against incumbent left MPs 37%, with no conservative candidate eliminated. Tonight, RN won 59 to 49%. This may end up being the closest result of the night. In Dordogne, 4th District, with all precincts reporting for the Interior Ministry, RN is ahead of left by 74 votes. Marine Le Pen's sister lost her bid to join the parliament. Her left opponent won by 0.5%. See below for context. Macronist, who came in third, initially said she wouldn't drop out, but then changed her mind, ended up blocking Le Pen. By the way, I will say, I mean, this is still a pretty big fucking surge for far-right parties. That is another scary reality here, just like with reform in the UK. You know, so it's not exactly just a moment of victory to be like super stoked. This is something to still pay attention to, and there is a lot that needs to be done in order to undermine the confidence that people have in the far right in France. Same goes for the UK. Okay, this is something that people need to pay attention to, and what the French government does in the upcoming years will determine whether the far right will win majorly. And the unpopularity of Macron, if that stink, if that anger and that resentment transfers to the left-wing coalition, okay, if the liberals do everything they can to basically undermine, which they probably will try to do, if they successfully undermine the New Popular Front agenda, okay, then that feckless inability to actually commit to a legislative agenda that truly tries to improve the material conditions of the French working class and try to actively undermine the radicalism that is growing in France. If they cannot fight against this with good economic policies and change the tide on neoliberalism, next time around, the far right will win majorly. They will win big. Okay, and the same exact principle stands for the UK. Same exact situation that I described in the UK. This is something to pay attention to. This is a good moment. This is a moment of victory. This is a moment of celebration. And it's great and it's wonderful, but it's still very scary, okay? I would say, however, that it's still a bigger moment of celebration than the UK for a multitude of reasons. One, because like Le Pen's staying power and popularity is more significant than reform, right? And the transfer of power is changing hands to an actual committed, as far as I understand, an actual committed left-wing coalition, rather than a left-wing coalition that'll still be undermined by liberals, for sure, but more openly left-wing nonetheless, in comparison to Keir Starmer's like active advocacy to be like as center-right as possible in control of labor. Now we'll see what happens. We'll see what Keir Starmer does if he follows through on his promises. If he follows through on his promises to push to the center, then it's cooked, right? If he follows through on his promises to push to the center, then it is genuinely scary. Reform will gain momentum. Reform will we're celebrating French socialism and the specter of haunting Europe, the specter of communism. He said our girl won? Question mark. This fucking asshole.
I forgot that you were Turkish.
What do you mean? What does that have to do with anything?
The other guy.
You need to pull another step. Okay, lock her ass in here. No, unfortunately, you're lost, dude. Yeah, I know you're very sad.
Yeah, I love the pen.
Bro, what the fuck? Yo, that is for a kid, dude. That's a kid lock. Bring it here. But that one's gonna be too big, probably. Thank you, Alexa, for stepping in to bring a real leftist opinion into the room.
Yeah. Called accelerationism.
Yeah.
We have to inoculate France against the far right by voting for the far right.
Yeah. Your opinion is shared by every centrist, surprisingly. Yeah, that's how I always do it.
It was saying Alexa play communist music. Be great if everywhere you walk is just
a song,
an anthem with you.
It kind of is like that.
This haircut's looking clean, by the way.
For who?
The reaction of the RM voters as they get the results live. The videos are too funny. Hit me with some videos. Let's watch them fucking crash and burn.
That's so good.
Okay. Gabriel Attal, sitting prime minister, is now speaking. He says this dissolution, snap election call, I didn't choose it. Veiled criticism of Macron, given a lot of reporting on Attal not knowing about Macron.